Good afternoon and welcome to Democracy and the Rule of Law, a program where we'll take a cursory look at topical national issues from the perspective of the rule of law and the Constitution. My name is Judith Renua. On today's edition of Democracy and the Rule of Law, we'll be looking at Operation Amotekun and Southwest Security. On Thursday, January 9, 2020, governors of Nigeria's 6 southwest states of Ogun, Osun, Oyo, Ekiti, Ondo, and Lagos launched the Western Nigeria Security Network called Operation Amotekun in Ibadan, the Oyo state capital. This is coming 6 months after the idea of regional security was brought to the fore by governors of the region during a security summit in 2019. There are misgivings over the workability of this initiative with conventional security agencies in the country. Also, on the day of the launch, 3 governors were conspicuously absent from the launch, raising concerns about the workability of this particular security outfit. We'll also be taking a look at the constitutional implication of this, if there is any, that is of the Operation Amotekun, and also the modality of its operation, amongst others. But first, let's take a look at what transpired on Thursday in Ibadan. Do stay with us.
Of security summits held across the region following the spate of incessant killings by suspected Fulani herdsmen, kidnapping, armed robbery, banditry, and other violence in the southwest. The southwest governors, in conjunction with the Dawn Commission, having considered the recommendations of the security meeting held in Ibadan, came up with the idea of regional security outfits. Speaking at the event, the chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum and Ekiti State Governor Kayode Fayemi, and the chairman Southwest Governors Forum, who is also the governor of Ondo State, Rotimi Akeredolu, lauded the initiative, adding that the initiative is not to separate the region from other parts of the country.
For us, we do not want anyone to misconstrue or misinterpret what is happening here. The conception of Amotekun is that we would operate on a state-by-state basis. Osun Amotekun is not going to come and operate in Oyo Amotekun space.
I cannot predict the exactitude of where this unfortunate disturbance will take place. Hence, we felt that a combined effort of all of us will be very necessary. It will save us from all this banditry, terrorism, kidnapping, armed robbery, herdsmen and farmers' conflict, clashes for ritual killings, and cybercrime.
They maintain that the creation of the outfit is to ensure sanity and security of life in the region. So in their separate remarks, the governor of the state of Osun, Boyega Oyetola, who was represented by his deputy, Boyega Alabi, and the host governor, Seyi Makinde, declared that the socio-economic development of the southwest region require high level of security, hence the essence of Amotekun.
The outfit is a further fulfillment of the constitutional responsibility of governments as custodian of the security and welfare of the people. This constitutional role is a parameter for measuring the degree of responsibility and efficiency of government.
It is our priority to ensure that both indigenes and settlers living within the boundaries of our various states can carry out their legitimate activities in a secure environment.
Also, the Yoruba leader, Professor Banji Akintoye, and the Oni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Eneton Gunwusi, commended the effort of the governor, calling for more cooperation among them for rapid socio-economic and political development in the region.
Our governors have come up and stepped forward, and they are giving us the leadership that we deserve from them. And we say thank you to them. And we say we love you, our governors. You are well brought up people. You are the children of this nation.
We are supporting you. There is need for unity of purpose in the southwest region and in other parts of the country. I want to appeal to you to continue in this regard. For rapid socio-economic development of our region, you must all unite, while we're ready.
Presently faced with, it will be difficult to wish away or to say that an organization such as the Operation Amotekun is not needed, because the primary responsibility of government, like he said, is the protection of lives and property. Unfortunately, the government in the Southwest, just as in the other parts of the country or nationally too, has been failing in its duties to the Nigerian people with respect to really protecting their lives and property. But just like you said, the jamming question is this. Is this the best approach that we could have with regards to this security outfit that has been established? Couldn't there have been a better way to police the Southwest and get a better result? And what are the challenges that this operation is likely to face now that it has been established? Why is the present security architecture of the country not working? These are some of the jamming issues that we'll have to address before we can really get to grip with the issues that it has taken. Let me start with the challenges and all that. Just like you said, there is already a constitutional illegal challenge when you look at the constitution and all that, which you said we might be touching as
we are indicating,
and this thing. There is that aspect of the this thing. Then the other area that interests me, like I said, is that why is the present security architecture not working? You know, to the best of my knowledge, you will find out that the security, the people who have shared the responsibility of protecting us and all that, they are poorly financed, they are poorly trained, they don't have the wherewithal to really be able to discharge their responsibility to the Nigerian people.
In essence, you're saying that this operation coming up at this time, it's an indication that security and security agencies have failed in their responsibility in the country.
Of course, there is no doubt about that. They have
That's a huge
failed.
indictment.
And there are so many reasons why they have failed. One, first and foremost, like I have said, the wherewithal, if a man is given a responsibility, you must equally provide him the wherewithal to be able to discharge that responsibility. Are the Nigerian people really giving the security men the wherewithal to discharge their responsibility to the Nigerian people? In my humble opinion, I would say the answer is no. But with the exception of a state like Lagos, we have seen that a lot of efforts have been made within, in Lagos State, for example, to really be able to equip the security people with the necessary wherewithal to be able to discharge their responsibility. They started the Security Trust Fund, in which both the private sector and then the public sector come together and then contribute money. And then with the money they raise, they get equipment and then give to the security people. Especially the security people too, who have to risk their life to really protect the people and all that. I am aware that some of them are being paid special allowances. I am aware that a place like Lagos State too, I think the state has established a kind of insurance for them, so that if there is a fatality or if there is casualty and all that, the state readily comes in. They also provide them the accommodation to be able to do that. Are the other Southwest states lived up to that expectation? The answer is no. The answer is no. Even more dangerous is the aspect of bringing the OPC into this matter. And I will give you two examples. I will mention the name of the state or the particular region, the particular town where this happened and all that. When there was security challenge, especially when there were kidnapping in that state and all that, the community, the obas in that community and all that, met with the Nigerian police and then met with the people in governance and all that. And then they now try to bring in the OPC and some of these local volunteer forces to join out with the police to begin to police the environment. But you know, one and below, as soon as that program started and all that, some of the men who are supposed to be the bedrock and then protect the this and all that, themselves are now the one aiding the criminal, aiding the kidnappers to frustrate the activities of the team that the community has set up, and also to profit from the criminality that the kidnappers and some other hoodlums and armed robbers are benefiting from. So we are not indicting any organization as such and all that, but are we going to put the mechanism in place to be able to screen the members of the OPC of the community that are going to be participating in this laudable program as it appeared to be? Not too long ago, you will remember that even the same Akeredolu who is announcing the establishment of this thing was indicted not too long ago in some security compromises in his own particular state. Some Fulani men were seen carrying ID card and policing and mounting roadblock and screening people. And the lawyer, whose name I'm not going to mention, was traveling from Ondo State to Abuja back to his base in Abuja. Unfortunately, they didn't know. The car he was driving had cameras and some other security gadgets to be able to capture some images. He asked some questions and he asked for identity. And these people were able to show him identity cards were provided by certain persons and all that. And when he equally went further, interrogating these people, he got from them information that they actually had the support of the governor of Ondo State. But when they opened Boomerang and then the so-called the Yoruba leaders and some other Afenifere began to question the rationale why it is the Fulani person that should be helping to police the Southwest State and all that. This same governor denied that he ever had a hand in it. So these are some of the hypocrisy that you see with some of these programs that they are putting on ground.
All right, then.
So,
okay, I will just have to hold it. We'll still continue in that line of discussion. But let's first take a break to allow our guest, our third guest, come to the table, and we'll continue. Do stay with us.
The initiative was the outcome of a series of security summits held across the region following the spate of incessant killings by suspected Fulani herdsmen, kidnapping, armed robbery, banditry, and other violence in the Southwest. The Southwest governors, in conjunction with the Dawn Commission, having considered the recommendations of the security meeting held in Ibadan, came up with the idea of regional security outfits. Speaking at the event, the chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum and Ekiti State Governor Kayode Fayemi, and the chairman Southwest Governors Forum, who is also the governor of Ondo State, Rotimi Akeredolu, lauded the initiative, adding that the initiative is not to separate the region from other parts of the country.
For us, we do not want anyone to misconstrue or misinterpret what is happening here. The conception of Amotekun is that we would operate on a state-by-state basis. Osun Amotekun is not going to come and operate in Oyo Amotekun space.
I cannot predict the exactitude of where this unfortunate disturbance will take place. Hence, we felt that a combined effort of all of us will be very necessary. It will save us from all this banditry, terrorism, kidnapping, armed robbery, herdsmen and farmers' conflict, clashes for
All right, you're welcome back, and just joining us on the show is Barrister Fred Aibaduma. It's nice to have you.
very well.
All right, we're discussing Operation Amotekun. What is your take on this particular operation that has just been launched by Southwest governors?
Well, first and foremost, I would say it's a child of circumstance, if not a full child of necessity, because the governors of the Southwest states of the Federation, they are caught, they are between and betwixt, between meeting the yearning or the yearning of the people and thinking of the right step to curtail the menace of herdsmen, especially security threats in the whole of the Southwest. And to placate the people, they thought of something. And on the other hand too, they look at it as like the common saying, half bread is better than none or nothing. So I think it's a middle course between they are not doing anything at all over the situation. At least now they are seen to be doing something. That is one. Then secondly, the president himself has complained some time back that if you look at the land space of Nigeria, it's not something that is that easy to actually monitor or control every activity. No matter the number of CCTV you want to place everywhere, there is no way the whole landscape will be covered. Even the whole of Lagos is still difficult to cover, far less the whole federation. So if they are reducing it to that minimal level, to be able to control it to an extent, I think it's a welcome development.
All right. Okay, Barrister Adamu Ibrahim, let's look at the constitutional implication of this regional security initiative. Is it in conflict with any provision of the Constitution?
Well,
even the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended makes a provision that the primary responsibility of government is the protection of lives and property. And when the Constitution mentioned the government, you and I know clearly that we have the federal government, we have the state government, and we have the local government, or the three tiers of government. So, when the Constitution mentioned, that's in section 14, subsection 2 of the Nigerian Constitution as amended, mentioned the protection of lives and property. What the governors of the southwest, western part of Nigeria have done is to establish a security outfit that will curtail the excesses of the criminals, or that will curtail criminality in the states, which is in line with the provision of the Constitution, section 14, subsection 2, as I've stated. So the establishment of Operation Amotekun has nothing, it's not in conflict at all with that particular provision of the Constitution. Because for every government who wants to have the confidence of the people, the very first thing they are supposed to make them comfortable with is that their lives and property are safe. After that, the government can now go ahead and make provisions of other amenities. But it is somebody who is living that can enjoy all these amenities. The moment somebody is dead, certainly you cannot enjoy the amenities that the government will provide. But the very first thing, which is primary, which is paramount, that the government is supposed to take into consideration is the protection of lives and property as provided by the Constitution. So, in my humble opinion, what the governors of the western states of Nigeria have done is not in conflict at all with the provisions of the Constitution. And I will repeat that every aspect of this country should key into this kind of operation. It could be any name. This one is Amotekun, that's leopard. It could be Ekun or whatever.
Or leopard.
You know, whatever name you give to it doesn't matter. But the most important thing is that the lives and properties of people should be safe. I am from the northern part of the country. I know what I'm talking about. I know what we're going through in the north currently. And in fact, it is no better time than now that operations of this nature be launched in other parts of the country, particularly in the north.
All right.
If I may briefly add to what you have just said, I was to say there is absolutely nothing wrong or in conflict with the Constitution over what the states have done. And it's a good step that is what emulated by other political zones or regions of the country. Because the more, the better. So that this criminal will know that people are not just living them, or they are not able to continue the way they want to continue without being curtailed or checkmated. So it's good that they are checkmated one way or the other.
All right, on the Constitution,
yes, I would disagree a little with my colleagues. In the sense that when you look at item 45 and item 28 of the exclusive legislative list and all that, it shadows the National Assembly and the federal government with the responsibility of creation of a police in the country. The reasons why a lot of my colleagues see this as not being too much in conflict with the Constitution is that it's become a product of expediency in the sense that we have numerous security challenges in our hand. And if you have to follow the spirit and letters of the Constitution and all that, then too many lives and property would have been wasted in the process. But you see, it's going to look like the challenge that we are having in the area of local government creation. When you create this kind of security forces and all that, the law court might be looking at this as a kind of an incoherent creation of the states, to the extent that
the National Assembly.
The National Assembly has to weigh in there to either you amend the Constitution to now begin to give powers to the states all over the Federation to be able to form security organizations like this, or it will remain coherent, just like I said, like the local government, which you create this local government as area councils and all that. And until the constitution is amended, allowing the states without the National Assembly getting involved to begin to create some of these regulations. Because the danger in this, you will find out now that the Lagos State Neighborhood Security World, they can't carry weapons. And even when they have security breaches in their hands and all that, or they know where some criminals are applying their trades and all that, they still have to go and report to the Nigerian police to be able to do the needful in terms of effecting arrests and what have you. I have also not been seeing them going to court to begin to prosecute people who have committed any infraction. They don't have that power. They don't have such power and all that. So, ditto, in the past we have had the Bakassi boys and all that. I am sure in the north we also have the ISBA, which they are still functioning, which is enforcing the Sharia. Let me quickly the Sharia laws and whatever. So, the Southwest governors can go a little bit further in pushing to the National Assembly an amendment of the Constitution in such a manner that they will now have the wherewithal. It's going to be on the concurrent legislature in which both the federal and then the state can now begin to create security outfits like this, who can also be armed, who can use lethal weapons and also begin to prosecute people in the different courts that we have all over the state and the federation. Well, but you see, the challenge again is this. I'm sorry to say, they may look unrelated, but in a way we must have the holistic approach to some of this. Look at what is happening to some journalists and lawyers in a place like Cross Rivers and what have you, where Governor Yade has taken certain persons to court. If Governor Yade has Operation Amotekun in his hands, or he has the ISBA in his hands and all that, what is the possibility that he would go ahead to start using such a security outfit to begin to harass and intimidate and then oppress whoever disagree with him? Because you now find a journalist for reporting on a state being prosecuted for treason. And Professor Shirinka raised a very fundamental issue, which even now as a lawyer never gave thought to. He said, look, can Cross River State be said to be a sovereign state? Yes. And can you now say somebody has engaged in criminal and treasonable action or felony against a state that is not sovereign?
All right.
These are very fundamental issues that these are some of the. I have raised the issue that when you involve the OPC people, are you going to be able to screen and ensure that it's the right OPC person that gets in there? Are you also going to be able to resist some of these governors from abusing the powers of some of these agencies that they establish and put
on? You've raised some issues. Before you go, let's just look at this issue. Critics of this operation say it might result. Follow from what you're saying, it might result in a collision course with the status quo. The questions are, how will the outfit be operated? What would be its operational guidelines and its command structure? Who gives orders and to whom would they be answerable to? Who supervises? Many questions begging answers.
Let me take us back to where my learner friend stopped. You see, I've taken a clinical look or classical look at the Constitution, especially that the schedule that you refer, I think the second schedule. I've looked at item 38, and that is military, purely military. Okay. Then item 45 is talking of police. Police is part of the security, military is part of the security, but we know their duty respectively. So, as far as what has been done now by the Southwest states governors or states generally, in terms of the creation of that mini or miniature, or let me say pseudo, is not in any way in conflict with the Constitution.
Okay.
Yes, because they've not been given the power to carry arms.
Yeah, they're not.
They've not been given the power to arrest. Like he pointed out, even the neighborhood watch in Lagos State cannot in any way prosecute anybody in court. And even the police that are prosecuting, steps have been taken against them in some states now to remove that as part of their duty so that they're able to fail full security work. A policeman is a security man. He's not a prosecutor. In fact, they are to a large extent, they are naive to an extent when it comes to law.
I think Kano and one state now.
Even Lagos has set up a committee to that effect. They gave them 2 months to stop them from prosecuting. So that we have enough lawyers in the country. Let the lawyers fail their work and let the security men fail their work. That's what I'm saying.
All right, and the questions I raised about the
modalities
of
that's where I'm going to. For every system, for every entity that is created for a purpose, if the purpose is not well validated or clarified, we all know that abuse becomes inevitable. If the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse becomes inevitable. So the first starting point is to give them their clear terms of reference or mandates. This is your mandate, this is your limitation, this is your boundary, and this is what you have to do. Their assignment purely is community policing. Within the community, within the rural area especially. That is one. Then there should be necessary check and balances. But let me let you know,
should do that?
Even with the constitution check and balances in the constitution, where are we today as a country? My learned friend raised the question of a journalist being charged for treasonable felony in Cross River State. I said it with all boldness, without any fear of equivocation, that they are all copying from somewhere. When a state of impunity is being imposed or entrenched that could lead to a state of anarchy, then we have to be very, very careful. So even this one too, there should be necessary check and balances. Their mandate should be well defined, their terms of reference should be clarified, and like you say, there should be a necessary organogram. There should be an hierarchy of authority. You know, under the constitution, a state governor is the chief security officer of the state. Yeah. But in the real sense of it, that is de facto. Is he the real chief security officer? No. He's even below the commissioner of police in the state. Before he will take any step, he has to relate with the commissioner of police, and the commissioner of police has to approach the IGP before a signal or a directive will come from the headquarters. And if it is killing, it has to continue to an extent. So these are some of the things that are calling for amendments in the constitution. So like he has pointed out, the constitution has to be amended. That if you are a federal state, let be a federal state per se, or par excellence.
All right, let's look at the recruitment process, which is set to be ongoing. According to the laid out procedure, a great proportion of vigilantes and local hunters would be absorbed into the security outfit. The recruitment process will be handled by the development agenda for Western Nigeria, and each state is expected to decide on the operational modalities. Also, the state will decide on the uniform for the personnel. Governor Akeredolu also says the conventional security agencies would participate in the recruitment in terms of conducting background checks on them. Barrister Adam, what do you make of this?
Well, in terms of recruitment, I would say, or I would suggest that recruitment should be based on particularly residents or indigenes of particular states who are clearly abreast with the nooks and crannies of the state should be recruited into the security outfit. But I have an issue here. If it is a complete regional security outfit, then it should be known by that name. But if it is a state-owned security outfit, then I think there's really a kind of bifurcation here, and a clarity, a clear line should be drawn out so that we know whether it's a regional security outfit or it's a state-owned security, or each and every state owns its own security outfit. Because
it's clearly a regional.
If it is regional,
states are
if it is regional, then the entire state in the western state of the federation must act in unison. Whatever operational guidelines that are going to be set out, it should be applicable to each and every state as it is formulated in the guidelines. It should not be left to the whims and caprices of the governors alone of a particular state. For instance, if you say the governor of Oyo State, or you recruit your own men, roll out your own guidelines for their own operation, I mean, there could be conflict here and there. There could be conflict between that of the Oyo State and that of the Lagos State or any other state in the western part of the country. So if it is a regional security outfit, it should be nicknamed regional security outfit, and their modus operandi should be one and the same. I think that will make more sense than leaving it in the hands of
each state.
And because if you do that, it will be subject to abuse and manipulations here and there. We know that. Look at the Nigerian security outfits that we have at the moment. Well, what are we battling with? Corruption. You give them an assignment, the next thing is corruption sets in, the money voted for that program, whatever, it's looted by the security men themselves. Some of them are are parties to these things. And you now push the innocent ones to the field without any operational guidelines. The next thing is they are killed. And once they are killed, that's all. Nobody talks about them. No compensation, nothing. You are forgotten. The family is led into some kind of problems that they live with it for life. So my one advice here is, if they are going to operate as security outfit of the region, the southwest region, I think that would be better.
Okay. Well,
I think just from the issues we have raised, there is already confusion on ground now. It's obvious now that the program is not well thought out. Now they are saying that each state is going to define the modality, rather than the program decides the program, and then the uniform and all that. That's like putting the cart before the horse. Even before you roll out the program, these are some of the blueprints that you would have put on the table that would have been clearly settled before before you come out and all that. And there's also confusion in the sense that whether it's going to operate as a regional or a state now. Well, the governors are saying that each one is going to report to the within the state and be under the control of the government in the respective states and all that. If it is like that, that means it's not going to be regional, because the fund that is available to those states may not be the fund that the Ekiti state or the Lagos state that is going to be put into the scheme and all that. So there's a lot of danger in what these people are set out to do. It appears to me they really haven't done their own work properly. And if you are going to be rolling out this kind of a programs and all that, for God's sake, you ought to have done out your homework, settled, dusted, and what have you. If care is not taken, I foresee a situation in which that program is going to collapse before it even takes off.
Why so?
One,
Dead on arrival.
dead on arrival. One, there's going to be issues with regard to funding.
Certainly.
Because the security challenges in Ekiti is different from that of Ondo, is different from that of Lagos State. Secondly, at the launch, you would have observed 3 of the governors were clearly absent. For this kind of a very important
Osun State Deputy Governor was there.
For you to be launching this kind of a very important programs and all that, it is not a day you want to see any of the governors not being on the table where this kind of an issue is going to be raised. Secondly, too, when the people in the respective states are now designing programs, uniforms, and then they want to be contributing to, what if Lagos says, look, I already have a Lagos State security trust fund and all that, and then neighborhood security and whatever. I also now have last man that is helping me to police Lagos State. I don't think I would need to be putting in as much resources as a Ekiti State, for example, so a conflict of interest will begin to arise in some of these places. And more importantly, it's also could be subject to abuse by some of these governors when the need arises, because it could be deployed against their political opponents in the nearest future.
Well, let me harmonize position this way, that it's better to start at all than never to start at all. That is one. Then two, even though my learned friend was trying to suggest in a way that's like putting the horse before the cart, am I correct? Or the
cart before the horse.
Before the horse. It's clear that the intention is genuine ab initio. Let me let you know that they have their fears too. And anything taking place within the political cycle now, there's no how you rule out politics. Some of them deliberately choose to be absent out of fear of the central and out of fear of their political career. Because some of them, they know where they are targeting after dropping as governor. And some of them, they are looking at second term. That the support they receive from certain quarters will it still be available if they are taking steps that will appear antithetical or conflicting with what is expected from that quarter. I won't mention quarter, but we all know what we are saying. We know that some people ride on certain horses or on a single horse to where they are going to. So you cannot rule out politics. But nonetheless, there's still a way forward. Like I've stated before, let it be well harmonized. Like my learned friend has pointed out, let the time of reference, that is the modus operandi, be defined. The ways they are going to operate, like we said in military cycle, way and manner should be clarified. Then if it is clearly it's a regional idea, and I don't see them being, it's being broken down to state by state. Because if that is the intention, they will not be asking all of them to contribute. They all contributed 2020 vehicles. Then they contribute under materials. And the intention actually is not just for the cities or for the town. We are talking of the highways especially. Then some of the hideouts of these criminals or hoodlums or miscreants are well known to some of these people internally. That's why the intention is actually what we call local or community policy. So that they're able to check them. They will say, so if the only problem is that they should be very, very careful in terms of recruitment, so that you'll not be asking a chief to go and take care of something that will be the one to settle to himself at the end of the day. You understand? So that's one thing that, because a lot of these people that are operating as, I want to mention the local security, we all know how they operate. They don't give regards to the law. It's like jungle justice or the survival of the fittest. Machiavellian principle applied to most of them. The ends justify the means.
Exactly the reservations some people are having over this. If you say you're co-opting local vigilantes and hunters, how do you really checkmate them? That's it. All right, let me go to Barrister Adamu. You did say something that it is a laudable initiative which other states should emulate. Well, the chairman of the Northern Governors Forum, Simon Lalong, has said the 19 northern states, northern governors, are working on introducing community policing. Now, are we gradually acknowledging that each zone really and fast needs its own security outfit, especially as it concern security, and also we should also be looking at the issue of resource control?
So before you answer that, there is something very, very significant and imperative. You see, most of these things, that, especially the fears that are being entertained in certain quarters, is because if you look at the whole regions in the country, it's the Southwest that started the idea of restructuring. That is a kind of confederation. So they are seeing this outfit like a kind of a giving life.
All right, thank you. Barrister Adamu.
You see, one funny thing with this country is we like a lot of copying job. You see, one thing I believe in is that before you are elected, either as a governor of a state or the president of the country or a local government chairman, you must, as a matter of fact, be abreast with the challenges of that particular area. And it is on that premise that you now seek political office, so that when you come into office, you will be able to tackle those problems which you have identified.
Exactly.
But unfortunately in Nigeria, a lot of our security, a lot of our political office holders
and institutions
only come into governance before they now realize what they want to do, which is unfortunate, which is highly unfortunate. What the chairman of the Northern Forum Governors has said, or about this security outfit, to say the least, is unfortunate. It's unfortunate because ordinarily every state has its own peculiar challenges. The issue of security challenges is a national issue. As we speak today, it's a national issue. So why do you have to wait until a particular or some particular states of the nation take the bold step of establishing a security outfit before you now respond in the north that we too were taking steps? I mean, that is, it's unfortunate. Because if you go to the north as I speak, if you go to the north, you will know what they call security challenges over there. Yes. People no longer sleep comfortably. You go to bed with one eye open because your unwanted visitor will certainly come in the night. And once they come, you don't have the wherewithal to stop them from operating. They take whatever they want to take, they take whoever they want to take to any destination whatsoever, and the next thing is they put a call through to you and say, come and pay ransom. And if you're not paying, your relative that has been taken away is killed. And once that person is killed, the government is not saying anything about it. Look, I tell you what, there's a particular village in Kogi State just last week that was attacked by armed men. About 30-something people lost their lives.
Close to Lokoja.
Very close to Lokoja.
Yes. Lost their lives. They came, they killed, they burnt houses, burnt properties. Nobody is saying anything about it. I'm talking about the lives of Nigerians at the moment.
So there's anything.
So, do you have to wait for certain governors of certain states to take this step and say, oh, we too are taking that step, it's unfortunate. I think this particular step is supposed to have even come from those particular areas that are facing these security challenges at the moment. Look, if there is any area in this country where you can say there is a relative peace or there is some relative security organization, it is in the Southwest. The entirety of the states in the North are faced with security challenges.
All right, let me quickly pose this question to you, Barrister. Like the governors have explained, these security operatives would not bear arms, and they're not in any way a regional or or state police. So what would they actually do in the face of a rising state of insecurity in Nigeria? We have the issue of kidnapping, we have armed banditry, we have highway robbery. So what can they really do if they don't bear arms? What would they really do?
You know, I tell you that the governors will not have the effrontery to come into the public space and say they will not bear arms. But you and I know that if you want to go and arrest or you want to go and capture a lion, do you send a sheep to go and capture a lion? It's not possible. So the truth be told, that there is no how you can engage someone who is armed with another person who is not armed. It is not possible. So whether we like it or not, the truth behind the curtain is that they will certainly bear arms for them to be able to operate effectively and curtail the excesses or the rising security challenges. But they are afraid that, oh, if we now tell the whole country that they are going to bear arms, you know, it's going to raise certain issues, certain challenges, and it will defeat the purpose for which they are going to form this security outfit.
Okay.
But the truth is that they will certainly bear one form of arm or the other to be able to confront these criminals and curtail their excesses so that people can live a free life.
We should also forget that most of them are going to be local hunters. So when we are talking of arms, we have arms and we have arms. And we just stop there on that one. And don't forget too that they know the terrains, especially in checkmating kidnappers.
Try the forest.
The forest, the thick forest in the southwestern part of the country, the mountains, the valleys, the high points, the low points.
We do have forest guards. We do have forest guards in some states.
Their own is forest guards for economic purpose. No, forest guards for economic purpose.
I know.
For revenue generation from wood and other things.
And they are quite effective. I'm just trying to say if the forest guards can be effective.
This one, yes. Yeah? So this one, the intention is to be able to break the backgrounds or the backbones of these criminals or hoodlums.
Supply information.
Yeah, supply information. Yes. When we are talking of arms, like I stated before, there are arms and there are arms.
I get
and
that.
There are arms in African way. I will not go beyond that.
I get that. All right, Mr. Kolawole.
Yes. Well, for the ones in the north, I foresee a conflict of interest in the sense that you find that in some northern states already, they have what we call the Ishba, which is a form of police that is helping them to enforce the Sharia, the Sharia law. For some of these states like Plateau, Taraba and all that, where the composition, the Muslim, the Christian composition is almost 50-50 and all that. And then with the kind of conflict between the different tribes in some of those places already and all that, having a local security outfit to police that kind of a state is going to lead to some, it's going to raise some very, very serious challenges, which I hope the governors have to address their mind to before they begin to establish some of these security outfits in the north. For me, I have always advocated, long before now, that if a local government wants to have a police, so be it. You go to some foreign countries of the world, they have local government police, they have state police. Even universities in some of these places, they have their own police that are bearing arms.
Yes, recognized.
They are licensed to bear arms and registered and all that. But because of the skilled nature of the federalism that we operate in this part of the world, in which everything is centralized and then you have a command structure up there and all that, we have been too afraid to deregulate some of these things.
Yes.
I would want to say, if I were the Southwest governors and then some of these northern governors and all that, if they are really patriotic, they are altruistic, in the campaign that they mounting this time around another. They should push for the amendment of the constitution in such a manner that even the local government can establish a police and not local police to be armed. That is the way it should be. Like he said, people of a particular community will know their community better than bringing somebody from Sokoto, from Meduguri, or Cross River, or Calabar to come to Lagos and start policing them and all that. He sees himself as a kind of an expatriate policeman who is there for just to earn his living.
That's
all. So these are the challenges.
All
and for now, I still want to say, and I have my misgiving about Operation Amotekun, I would have preferred that they adopt the Lagos State model, which is already working. And now that they are saying the Amotekun operation is going to be domiciled in respective states and all that, and then the fund is also going to be coming, and then they are going to be reporting to the chief security officer, which is the governor, and maybe the police command in that state and all that. You are having some conflicts in your hand already.
All right. While the governors are not accepting that this is a sort of state police or regional police, you recall that we have the strong clamor for restructuring and devolution of powers to regions. Would you describe this, though they're not accepting, would you describe this as a plus for proponents of restructuring at this point?
Well, it's like a starting point. It's like a first step. That was the fear in certain quarters. That this restructuring that started from this place or for this quarter appears to be gaining ground, whether through the front door or through the window or through the back door, appears to be coming in gradually. I understand some of the governors, actually all the state governors, were summoned to Aso Rock shortly before the launch of the Amotekun, Operation Amotekun. And they have to explain that this is not police, but we all know that Nigeria is long due for state police, not just regional police. So the governors too have to be pragmatic, they have to be creative, and they have to be proactive. It's not a question of being there as a governor, just fold your hands because you are thinking of second time, before you are thinking of retiring to be a senator, or because you are not able to take any step in the interest of your people. So it's getting to the point that there should be high degree of dynamism and proactivism in the interest of the masses to save life, to secure, to preserve, to protect, and not only that, to be futuristic, that is, to work with a sense of posterity. Even if it's just 4 years I'm able to serve, let the people be able to come back and say, we remember this governor for this. Like he was saying, even the North we are talking of, you know, they are not always together. Because the middle belts, they have their own agenda, they have their own plan, they have their own interest. And he called 19 states. In fact, a chairman of 19 state government cannot be speaking for do I say North or North Central? We all know it is a region on its own. I think they have about 7 states too. Sure. You understand? So it's a question of pragmatism. It's a question of focus. It's a question of vision. And to be sure that this is what we are supposed to do, all within the confines of the law or the constitution. And the constitution too is not something that cannot be tampered with. After all, it has suffered several amendments. Several amendments. So there could be further amendment. So if we are talking of restructuring, it can be a system. It can be by systematic approach. That's what we are saying. Systematic approach from one item to the other, like you have suggested. Remove some of these items fully exclusively. Bring them to what do you call it now? The one that the concurrent. Bring it to the concurrent, please. Let's look at how it plays out. Let's see whether it's changing the narrative or not.
All right. Before we go, let's quickly take you from the north. The federal government is planning the withdrawal of troops, from conflict ridden areas in the northeast by 2020, in the year 2020, and they will be replaced with the Nigerian Police Force, whose primary responsibility is actually that of providing internal security. They would assume your responsibility in this area. Briefly, do you buy this?
Well, you and I know ordinarily that the internal security of the country is primarily the responsibility of the Nigerian police, and also the external protection of Nigeria is that of the military and stuff like that. But you and I know the truth on the ground, that the Nigerian police does not have the capacity to protect lives and properties in this country. You and I know that. So the government policy that they are going to withdraw the military from the crisis-prone zone is like withdrawing the military and leaving the people to their fate. So if you are strong enough to challenge your assailants, then you can do that. And I tell you one thing again. You see, it's a kind of funny arrangement. If you, an innocent citizen, because you're afraid of your life, you now go and purchase weapon to protect yourself. The next morning, the policeman comes to your house, they are coming to check, and the next thing is you are being prosecuted for illegal possession of arms.
Very well.
Whereas there are criminals, in fact, brandishing. Governors are having meeting with them with their weapons like this.
Do it my own way. It is ill-advised. It will be ill-advised to withdraw those.
So I don't support that.
I want to say
it's still premature.
Poverty, unemployment is at the bottom of this insecurity that we have in our hands. Until you have addressed
those issues, you can't take away that. All right.
And basic infrastructures to look at electricity supply.
All right, very well. The issues are still there, and we always come to this table to discuss them. Thank you for coming on today's edition of Democracy and the Rule of Law. Our time is spent. We have to go. Thank you, our esteemed viewers, for watching. Do join us at 1 p.m. next Sunday for another. My name is Judith Orenwa. Do have a great week ahead. Bye.